Welcome back to another video. This is for episode 10. We just gonna go ahead and get right into it because a lot happened this episode. Wait, last episode, they left us hanging, trying to figure out, was Cornelius gonna go home? Why was Camille crying like that? I had a whole bunch of questions as usual. So they start this episode out picking up where they left off last week. I said in my video last week that what I wanted was for Cornelius to go home and Camille to self-eliminate. And that's exactly what happened. But for some reason in the back of my mind, I was just like not really embracing that because I was like, oh, I'm going to try to play it. But they didn't. But then now I'm like, if Camille knew that she was about to tell Cornelius that the women wasn't feeling him and he was not ready to love, why was she crying like that? Like, you knew you was going to tell him that. What was the crying for? Y'all could just go chill at home. I don't get it. I really was shocked that they actually cut Cornelius. Like, I was really shocked because they should have been did that. Like, things could be so different right now had they got both of them out of there, because Camille was always going to self-eliminate because she wasn't feeling none of them other dudes. One thing that I do wonder is, like, how long this whole process was for them. Because it's like, I really want a realistic time frame on when they are making these decisions. Like, it's kind of crazy, and I feel the need to put out a disclaimer before each video because some of the cast stays mad at vloggers who are commenting on what happened. Like, it's understood that this happened like months ago and things change. But that is one of the downfalls of reality TV, because what's captured on camera, however they manipulate it and put it out, I mean, you can't keep running behind each episode and, like, trying to explain, you know what I'm saying? Like, but back to Cornelius and Camille. One of my other questions is, why was Cornelius shocked? Why was he shocked? You had to know that she was going to go. Or maybe he thought that they was just going to keep on coasting through like they had been, because they both know they should have been gone. But then my other question was, Tommy had said last episode that one man is going to have to go home in the morning. So if the elimination happened in the morning, why was it dark when Camille and Cornelius finally left? And then Cornelius was like, I think he felt relieved when she said that they voted him off, but I don't know. But this is why I think that. When she said, I'm going to self-eliminate, and he said, are you sure? I feel like he was like, wait, what? Like, I feel like he was like blown, because why would he say that his biggest regret is that he didn't make any more connections? Like, either you are matching Camille's energy when she says there's no one there for her but you, or you're not. Like, I don't really feel like Cornelius was into anybody. He might be doing things behind the scenes or whatever, but why come on TV for a show if you're going to do everything important behind the scenes? I don't know. And now, present day, they posted these pictures. Now, I'm not mad at the pictures. Melanin popping, they look good. No problems there. But I'm still confused. Like, are they actually together? Are they not together? Is this a publicity stunt or what? I don't know. Only time will tell. But I'm not buying it. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Y'all look good, though. So the men have the power. They go on a series of dates. Now, I'm going to talk about each couple. I'm going to go down the list of each couple so that we can see what's going on, because the main thing I want to talk about don't happen until the end. So we're going to just get through these couples real quick so we can address that situation. So they still at the house. Now, these aren't going to be in any particular order, but I'm going to hit everybody. You got Dante and Aisha. They meet outside, And basically, you know, Dante lets her know he got some unfinished business, but he really is feeling Aisha. He wants to see, he's excited about where it could go, and she feels the same way. She starts to talk about the situation that happened with Zodia, and Dante kind of brings her back real nice and smooth. Like, he like, oh no, we ain't gonna talk about that. And she, okay. But the thing that stood out to me was the effect that he has on her, and how he's able to calm her down and bring her back, right? When he had the conversation with Zodia, he was trying to talk to her kind of the same way, just like, but the fact that he was checking her, what didn't work for her. It's just interesting, the way each one of them responds. Like I said before, I think Aisha does a really good at being a feminine woman. And not to say that, you know, Zodia is all masculine, but we're going to get to that in a minute. So Dante and Aisha talking, he carried her off, talking about he practicing or whatever. If they work, they're going to be cute. And he does have kids and she has kids, but his kids are old. His kids are not like newborns. So, I mean, I don't think, at first I was like off put by the 3 baby mother thing or whatever, and how he was like, you know, I'm not the drama dude. And, you know, for the most part, I still don't know if there is any chaos, but, it's a good sign that the kids aren't like new babies. But anyway, I think they will make a good couple. Hopefully it's not just for TV. We're going to see what happens. I really feel like they got a real connection. Finally, at the end of the season. So then you got Phil and Shiloh. Okay, so Phil and Shiloh are like in the kitchen. They sit down to play this love languages game. And this was kind of awkward to me because it just looked like Shiloh is really begging to know where Phil's head is. And it's like kind of sad because I think we can all see the game Phil is playing. Phil is probably the guy that is not used to all of this kind of attention. Walter probably had this attention before. Naeem probably had this attention before. Dante probably had this. I mean, even Frank probably had all this attention before like this. But Phil, no. And he's waiting for Sydney, pretty much. And the crazy thing is, Sydney is not the one for him. Like, he's tripping. So in there playing the game, she's asking these questions. He's feeling uncomfortable about the questions. Then she says she wants some more grand gestures in public. And if you gotta say that, I don't know. My stomach was hurting watching this joke. Phil told her that she was annoying. He said it in a joking way, but everybody know that jokes got a lot of truth to them, and so he said that she was annoying. She didn't take offense to it though, but sis, he was for real. And then he kissed her, but it was such like a really fast peck that, oh, let me just do this so she can just shut the fuck up kind of peck. Like, and the messed up thing is that, like, all of the cast is watching this back with us. And it's probably re-triggering some things for most of them, because it probably was a lot of stuff that wasn't shared with them until they saw it on TV. And so this is one of those situations where in that moment when he was like talking to Shiloh and she said she wanted more grand gestures and he kissed her like that, then he kissed Sydney, which was a total different kiss. And Shiloh had to see that on TV now. Now, after the fact, he might have told her before it aired. But the point is, like, I can see how that joke could get real messy. So then you got Sabrina and Walter. They go on a date. Finally, I feel like this is their first one-on-one. I will say that they look good together. When they was walking down the street, they look good together. But I think I really do, because the way Sabrina be looking at him, and she said something about get some sneak kisses or whatever, I feel like, okay, y'all been sneaking and kissing. What else y'all been sneaking and doing? I don't know. But they had a good date. There was one point in the date that Sabrina had like a little awkward face with him. Walter apparently hasn't been communicating with her, but Sabrina said that before, that a lot of the men weren't communicating. And so, but Walter is like set, like, this is my connection, we together. You're not together, but it's her. He's saying she made it easy or whatever. But Sabrina notices that, okay, is it because you am my second choice or whatever? I mean, and the reason why she thinks that is because he lacks in communication. But then he also lacked in communication with Mumin too. So Sabrina probably didn't know that, but he never said why he wasn't communicating. So I don't know. But they had a good day. She wanted him to come sit on the side of the table with her so she could snip his neck. I see you, Sabrina. I see you. Then you got Frank and Mumin. Now, Frank and Mumin go down to the National Mall, and I'm sorry, as a DC native, okay, yeah, it is a romantic date spot or whatever, but just all that it takes to get down there and park and walk. No, thank you. Let's go somewhere else. Like, why can't we just go somewhere else that's easier? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. To me, the National Mall just is not a place that I want to go for a date. But so they get out there. He goes to buy them ices. She wants to taste his icy. It's still COVID, but whatever. She wants to taste his icy. And I'm just looking at the way that they're sitting. Like, Mumin, it seems like Mumin was trying to put all her eggs in Frank's basket because she fumbled the bag with Walter. She could say whatever she want. She fumbled the bag with that. She might have been able to hang in there had she not had a crazy woman moment. That's just my opinion. But they looked awkward to me. They were sitting far away. They were sitting like too far apart. They were holding each other like hand like this. Like, it was just awkward. Like, why wasn't y'all just sitting side by side? Or like, it just looked weird. But Frank was real with her, and he told her that there is somebody else, Sydney, of course, that he wants to explore and see, if there's still a connection there. And Mumin is just like, okay. Like, again, I feel like she's trying to put all her eggs. I feel like she's panicking at that point and just grasping for straws because she doesn't have any other connections. I just thought that Mumin and Frank's date was a little bit awkward. It looked like it was obligatory to me. And she called him her history teacher. Like, girl. So Frank brings out a golf ball that he stole from that date that they had, that group date that they had. Frank, did Corey tell you to do that? Because I don't know if I believe Frank is feeling Mumin. I don't know. So then you got Phil and Sydney date. I just think that Sydney is too much for Phil. I'm sorry. But they had a very different kiss than he shared with Shiloh. And Phil is gone. His nose is wide open. You can run a train through that jump. And I noticed that Shiloh's nose is red. So I don't know if she's a real emotional person. She's an intimacy coach and everything. So I feel like she's probably an empath. She looked like she had been crying to me in a few of the scenes that I saw her in. That's another reason why I want to know the time frame, because, like, I don't know. All of this stuff is coming out now. And it's like, up till now, the cast has been portraying this kumbaya thing, right? And I don't know whether it's because they wanted to keep the integrity of each episode and not let nobody know what was going on, but I feel like there was a lot of tension behind the scenes between different people. And I feel like it was a lot, as I keep saying, a lot that we did not see. So then we get to Zodia and Dante's date. This is the one. We get to see we saw the preview, and it looked like she was hovering over him or whatever. What we didn't see was that she was actually poking him in his nose while she was hovering over him. Like I said last week, if there was a chance of her and him messing with each other, I feel like that right there solidified that it never will be. I could be wrong. I don't know either one of them, but knowing the men that I know, she took it too far. So they go to this restaurant. I don't even remember the name of it, but it's outside. The scenery looks nice. Dante's sitting up there. Zodia comes in. He had her wine all together for her, gave her a glass of wine. Now, she came with an attitude because she was feeling some type of way. She told him that he abandoned her at the retreat, and he was like, what? She said he made her feel unprotected, uncovered, and everything because he let her go into the deliberation without telling her that he gave Aisha a massage and everything. Now, my question is, where was you at when all that was happening? Because it was women overlapping men, so one woman had to be like, what was she doing while all y'all was chilling with the men? Unless y'all was just chilling in groups, but you was chilling with Naeem. And let's please remind ourselves that when he got to the mansion, when he got to your room at the mansion and came and spoke to you, you were cold to him. You basically shunned him. And obviously we didn't see everything, but if he had time to go give a massage and cook with Aisha and you didn't know, what was you doing? You was with Naeem. She tells him that he shouldn't have let her walk in there without telling her what happened, that she would not have done him like that. But he told her, like, I can't predict what's going to be talked about in there. I go into the deliberation meetings all the time without knowing what else is going on. Her main point was that she felt like he should have told her about the massage and stuff. So he told her that he feeling Aisha. So she gets up and she's like, well, you enjoy that connection with Aisha. And she walks off. So she walks off and left. She gets to the elevator. She pulled out her phone. She was probably talking to Camille. And Camille probably, once again, was like, don't let him play you like that. Go fight for your man. Even if it wasn't Camille, Camille be giving that energy. So she walks back to Dante. Dante's sitting there eating his food. She walks back and now she's standing over him talking about, I was going to choose your ass. What? I was going to choose your ass before the house. So, like, again, you know you're being recorded. You know this because it's a TV show. So you must not have ever been planning on being with Naeem either, because he had to watch this back and see that you said that you was going to pick him. So what was you doing with Naeem anyway? Anyway, she pokes his nose. Okay, let's just look at it.
I'm relaxing. I got me a little vegan, little risotto, and I see her come back in the distance. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
This right here is up. Fine if you pick somebody else, but you were never second fiddler. I was actually about to choose your ass before the house and all that other. I would have rolled with you? Yes. No. Boo-boo. Because you showed your whole true colors this weekend. Period.
What the hell just happened? That's not how you handle conflict. That's not how you handle an argument. Let alone put your hands on somebody, but, walking away. So I'm sitting here with my risotto, dumbfounded.
Now, everybody's talking about how if the situation was turned around and he did that to her, he would have been no way he would have been able to get away with that. And that's true. But my thing is, like, she didn't care about being in public. She didn't care about being filmed. Like, at this point, there's a camera around. Like, what are you doing? Girl, you got to learn how to control your emotions. I mean, that's all I have to say about that. Okay, but I will say that recently she did a live with Camille and Shiloh. And she did acknowledge that it was all ego and that she should not have acted like that. It's super hard. Okay, so I'll have a transparent moment right here. I have lost my cool a time or two. And not on no situation like this, but I've lost my cool a time or two to where you have to own up to the fact that you had a crazy woman moment. And everybody's still going to talk about the crazy woman moment, even though you are trying to forget it. You just have to learn how to control your emotions more. I feel you, Zodia. And I do think that you have an attitude, but I don't think that you're a bad person. But I mean, those are the L's that we just got to take and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? You just got to do better, and the longer you do better, the further that is away. So that's all I got to say about that. Because she called Aisha dumb and dense and all of that, and I think that it kind of came off as like when you told her at the dinner table that she was a hater, or she was she was sounding haterish. Like, that's how you ended up sounding at the end, because the person who you thought was dumb and dense got the person that you said was your first choice. You embarrassed that man in public. And I will say this, Dante did hella good at that table, because a lot of men would have not reacted like that. Not saying that they would have put their hands on her, but they definitely would not have just sat there and took it like he did. He took that shit like a G. And it was like he realized, I'm not about to be looking crazy on TV. Even though he was embarrassed, probably, that wasn't his fault, because he never disrespected her. So, you know, and that is the worst part about it for Zodia, because when you kirk out like that and the person don't match your energy, you the only one that look crazy. So that is probably also why later on, when she met with Phil, why she thought that Dante would tell everybody that she was crazy, because she felt like she acted crazy. She lost her cool. And when you are a person that has an attitude like that and you lose your cool, it's really like, it's a blower. So then they go to, so then we have the men's deliberation. They went to the historic Watergate Hotel. I really want to know how long the men's deliberation was, because it seemed like this conversation could have probably easily been like an hour or two. I want to know what was edited out. So they get to talking about the retreat, and Dante told her that he brought like a massage table. They was talking about the people they were feeling and things like that. And then they get to the part where Tommy's like, well, who you not feeling? Yeah, so like I want to know what was edited out, because it was a little funny to me. When Dante told Tommy about the situation with Zodia, I really wish he would have went into more detail, but he could have. I don't know. They didn't show him say anything other than what he said. But again, editing might have cut some other stuff out. But Dante, when he told Tommy about that, Tommy turns to Naeem and is like, well, how do you feel about this? And Naeem just came off as delusional. I was like, bruh, no, what are you doing? He was like, well, that don't have nothing to do with me. I don't think anything about it, because that's a separate situation. So basically, I guess he was trying to say she never did that to him, so she not worried about it. But I would think that, here's one thing I know. Women do not get that upset at a dude that they aren't emotionally invested in. So Naeem saying that it didn't matter to him, he should have very much been thinking, damn, why the fuck does she even give that all of that energy if she wants to be with me? Either he's okay with being second choice. I mean, because I can't even say that he was trying to stay on the show, because if she didn't go home, I don't know. I was really disappointed in the way that he reacted to that, because no. I'm not saying anything about her behavior, but the fact that she was upset like that with him enough to do what she did would have just let me know where her feelings were. That's all I'm saying. Because if it's a dude that I'm really not feeling, I mean, but she said out her mouth that she was going to pick him before the house. So then as they're still talking about, okay, so then in the midst of that, Frank actually spoke up as well and said that, you know, it's a pattern. It's becoming a pattern. And you got to pay attention to that, basically. And then Naeem was like, Sydney's voice is annoying, so he's not feeling her, so he put her in the bottom. But I can't help but feel like he did that because, like, Frank spoke up on Zodia behavior, and Naeem probably was just being petty. You know what I'm saying? But Dante is funny. Like, this whole scene was funny to me.
From how she treats me. She treated me 100 all the time.
You may not have had an aggressive encounter with her
Yet.
but the fact of the matter is, it's just become a pattern with Zodia.
Anything that you've heard has given you a red flag? You know, although there's been certain things, I'm a person that looks beyond the obvious to see what's really there. And what's really there with Zodia, she's a good person at her heart, and she's treated me as such.
Yo, this dude. Are you not perplexed as to why she's putting her hands on me, or just her negativity throughout the process? It just doesn't add up to me.
I would be in deep thought moving forward.
I hope Naeem is like watching that back like, what the hell was I thinking about? Like I said, y'all, I feel like there was some hunching going on this season. And that might have been what was causing all this tension between these certain castmates. That's just my opinion. Mumin and Zodia are in the bottom. So Mumin they send Walter to go meet with Mumin. Mumin was on her airy shit. She came in there and she said it was business. She wanted to get Walter told. She brought up again about how weird he was acting when she came to touch his head. But she's not getting the fact that you were the third wheel. Like, they were chilling together. And here you come to rub his head. In what world do the dude that you talking to want both of his women there at the same time trying to touch him? She didn't get it. And then she realized, he said it felt like a setup. And she said it felt like a setup, but you still chose not to talk to me. She just didn't get it. Another thing is, when he was talking to you at the pool, you walked away. So what would make him come back to you and talk to you about something that he felt? Anyway. Girl, no. He tells Mumin that she's still ready to love. Her connection with Frank kept her there. So she all ready to go and put all her eggs in Frank's basket. Poor thing, because I don't think that's going to work. Anyway, Zodia goes on a date with Phil. She said she put on her best outfit and she went to go and have this date. She thought it was suspect. I think she kind of knew that it was going to happen because Naeem probably told her ass what they talked about. He strikes me as that type, by the way that he acted in the men's deliberation. He probably called her as soon as they got out of deliberation, was like,
yeah, the dude's about to vote you out.
And that's the kind of thing she wanted Dante to do. And so, yeah, that's how I think that went down. So she's talking to Phil about the whole thing. She still wasn't trying to, it came off like she wasn't trying to take accountability for it, but I think that she just didn't want to talk about it no more. Like, all right, I did it. Let it go. Like, she probably thinking in her head, this dude probably told everybody that I kirked out or whatever, and she feels like she had a kirk out moment. I just feel like that's how she felt. But Phil let her know that, you know, she's not ready to love and, you know, her time was over. So then Naeem meets with Tommy to tell him that, you know, it's nobody else here for him. It'd be disingenuous for him to stay because the connections are really already made, right? And so he wants to self-eliminate as well. I don't feel like he needed to call Tommy in to do that, but since he did, we're going to talk about what Tommy said to him, which further made me just look at him and shake my head like, Naeem, no. He starts to, you know, Tommy said to him, you know, you're not, you know, it looks like you probably not this first choice. Like, in not so many words, that's what he was saying. And so I don't know why Naeem was so, I don't know why he just didn't look at it for what it was. Like, he doesn't come across to me as a dude that just is controlled by the P, but I can't think of no other reason why he wouldn't just see shit for what it was. So he self-eliminated. I mean, Tommy kept it real with him, but did Naeem listen is what I want to know. I don't know. So next week, the dudes meet the family. That's going to be interesting because some of them are introducing their family to people who they really know they're not going to be with. So, but then there's also a situation that they teased with Shiloh and Phil. Shiloh obviously looks like she's been crying. She says she's traumatized. They had a conversation and Phil asked her if he thinks that he was trying to hurt her. And she said emotionally, yes. So we'll see what happens. I mean, but my women for this week, I like Aisha. I still like Sabrina. I don't have a problem with the other girls, but Aisha and Sabrina, my top two women for this week. For the men, my top men, Dante is one of my top men, and Frank is one of my top men because Frank actually kind of, I was thinking that Frank was like this pretentious asshole dude who just think he like that. I could see him in the club, at the bar, like he just, I don't know. But I really liked the way that he carried stuff this week. He was real. He kept it real. He even kept it real with Mumin, but she's not picking up. She's not reading the room, so I don't know how that's gonna go. But so one of my recommendations to own for next season is that if they haven't filmed it already, they should put in a couple of speed dating events for them. Like, yeah, they did a mixer, but they should do a couple of speed dating events where they actually get a chance to sit down and talk to everybody for at least 15 to 20 minutes, because that will give people a chance to actually have conversations with people. Because at the mixers, they can't really, it's like everybody's vying for everybody's attention. And it's one thing to let things happen naturally, but when they first get there, I think a speed dating event would be amazing, because that will kind of get a jump start to what kind of connections could be. But what do I know? I'm just giving commentary. I'm just working with what y'all giving me. We'll see what happens on the next episode. Until then, I mean, if you're not following any of the cast on social media, you might want to do that. That's how I caught Camille and Zodia and Shiloh's live the other day, which I appreciated because, you know, like I said, this stuff happened months ago. And so it's just kind of good to see what the cast is thinking and saying now, even though, you know, they're not saying much. But, and then Kamisha Reviews also has a Ready to Love panel on Saturdays. So if you've not caught that, you need to get over there and catch up. It's always a good conversation. And some of the cast comes through. So, definitely check that out. Anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Until the next episode, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see y'all later. Peace.